started in dogs at an early age, initially interested in Great Danes. And like so many people, a family pet instigated a tryout at a dog show, and a lifelong interest followed. It's in miniature wire-haired Dachshunds that Jeff has enjoyed his greatest successes. In partnership with Hound Andrews, there have been scores of champions, including several Crufts Best of Breed and Group winners. Jeff first judged in 1982 and first awarded CCs in 1989. He now awards CCs to breeds in every group and has been approved to judge all 7 groups and best in show. He's judged in most countries around the world and is also a member of the Kennel Club's General Committee. He's very much looking forward to tonight's Hound Group, so it gives me very great pleasure to welcome into the ring, and please show your appreciation for Mr. Jeff Horswell, being escorted this evening by Mrs. Anne MacDonald, Vice Chair of Crufts Committee.
So you join us now for the second of our groups this evening, the Hound Group. Anne MacDonald there escorting our judge, Jeff Horswell, into the ring. First of all, we're going to see the imported register winner do a lap of honour. Imported registers, dogs that have been brought into this country and are building in terms of numbers and quality, not yet ready to go on the breed register, but I'm sure we'll see them competing before too long.
But please give a warm Crufts round of applause to the winner of the import register classes, the Azawakh.
The graceful lines of the Azawakh taking a lap of honour on behalf of the imported register classes. Now we're going to see our best of breed winners for the final group of Crufts 2016 coming into the ring.
Please welcome the Afghan Hound.
To begin with, speed, power and dignity, the glamorous Afghan Hound. The Basenji, the little barkless dog. Short-coated, rough, rugged little Basset Fauve de Bretagne. My own lovely breed, the Grand Basset Griffon Vendeen, followed by his smaller cousin, the Petit Basset Griffon Vendeen. Instantly recognisable, the Basset Hound. And here we have the Beagle Best of Breed winner. And the Bloodhound. Human tracking par excellence. The graceful Russian Wolfhound, the Borzoi. The Cirneco Dell'Etna. Competing at Crufts for the first time, this was our best of breed winner.
Now see the first of the Dachshunds, the long-haired Dachshund.
6 varieties of Dachshunds, different sizes, different coats. This is the standard long-haired.
The miniature long-haired Dachshund.
And the miniature long-haired.
These are big breed with small legs. The smooth-haired Dachshund now.
And here's the smooth-haired Dachshund. Of course, all dogs designed to go to ground, long and low to go down a hole.
And again, some small legs.
And the miniature smooth.
We have the wire-haired Dachshund now.
Best of breed wire-haired Dachshund. Characteristic beard and moustache and that wonderful crisp wire coat. And finally, the mini wire. Probably the biggest character of them all. Gently dignified, yet hugely workmanlike, the Deerhound. A bold Spitz in a gorgeous colour. At home, they never stop barking. The Finnish Spitz. Instantly recognisable and largely kept in packs, the Foxhound.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Greyhound.
Head like a snake, neck like a drake. The Greyhound, the ultimate racing machine.
Please welcome the Hamiltonstovare.
The Swedish Foxhound, the Hamiltonstovare.
Followed by the Ibizan Hound.
Tall, narrow and finely built with those wonderful ears, the Ibizan Hound.
Please welcome the Irish Wolfhound.
Standing nearly a yard high at the withers, the giant of them all, the Irish Wolfhound.
Next one we'll see is the Norwegian Elkhound.
Shades of grey personified, the Norwegian Elkhound.
Please welcome the Otter Hound.
The rugged water hunter, the Otter Hound.
The Pharaoh Hound is the next dog in.
Clean lines and a wonderful noble bearing, the Pharaoh Hound.
Smaller legs next for the Portuguese Podengo Warren Hound.
The little Portuguese Podengo, the Warren Hound.
Upper size to the Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Characterised by the ridge down his back, this is the Rhodesian Ridgeback, big game hunter.
Next dog we'll see in the grouping is the Segugio.
Speed, grace and endurance in the desert, the Saluki.
Please welcome the Slugi.
Lean and racy, the Slugi.
And the last dog into the ring is the Whippet.
And the wonderfully popular little Whippet bringing up the rear. Big round of applause from the crowd.
Welcome the Hound Group best of breed winners into the ring. To ask Mr. Horswell to pass the flag around them, it gives me great pleasure to hand you back to the commentary box.
A lovely entry coming into the ring. It's always very impressive to see them coming in there, and some of them very large numerically, as Jeff Horswell, the judge, takes a good look along the line. One of the most important parts of the judging in the group is to take a good look at all the animals before he looks at them individually. Just get a feel of the group, see what he's got in front of him, beginning to form an impression of what he might be going to select. Jeff Horswell starting dogs at an early age with Great Danes, followed on with miniature wire-haired Dachshunds. That's quite a switch in size. Owned and handled dogs with in partnership with Zena Thorne Andrews. Also Irish Wolfhounds. Experienced. First judged at Crufts in 2000, many times since.
Afghan Hounds received an overall entry of 232.
So here we have the first of our hounds. This is Merlin, 6-year-old dog, the Afghan Hound. The Afghans, the glamorous dog of the dog world. They come in many forms, or glamour comes in many forms, but this must be in the top 10 of anyone's list. The first Afghans arrived in the early 1900s to this country. The breed standard talks of strength and dignity as well as an oriental expression.
And of course, in the hound group, we have a mix of both sight and scent hounds, and the Afghan hound's one of the ultimate sight hounds. If you're going to gaze the countryside for your prey, and in the case of the Afghan hound, of course, that would have been in Afghanistan, you need to have your eyes high up. So that's why that wonderful head shape, raising the dog's eyes up so it can gaze over the horizon and look for its prey. History tells us that this fascinating little dog was a palace dog of the pharaohs, so a dog of great antiquity. It's called the Basenji, characterised by this wonderful form, those prick ears, that wedge head, little bit of wrinkle on the face. In the 17th century, they were sighted in the Congo, and it's from there that they were imported to Britain. The first pair arriving in 1936, producing the first English litter.
Yes, this is a 9-year-old bitch called Jada, known as the barkless dog, a unique characteristic of the breed, but that doesn't mean that he's quiet. They can make, he expresses his pleasure with a crowing, yodeling noise. And the wrinkles on his head give him a quizzical expression. Curious, self-confident and friendly dog.
Swift, long swinging stride there, very characteristic of the Basenji.
There were 59 of these Basset Fauve de Bretagnes here. This is an 11-month-old dog called Otto. It comes from Sweden. As his name implies, though, this breed comes from France, a recent arrival in Britain, gaining in popularity because the dogs are really lively and friendly and a handy size suitable for a small house and garden.
One of the group of rough-coated, rugged French hounds that are used in small packs to hunt on the continent and still very much valued for their working ability today over there. Of course, not used for working here and more commonly seen at home and in the show ring, but nonetheless should be very much the workmanlike little dog. The colour of this breed is classic and very characteristic.
The Basset Fauve de Bretagne.
The Grand Basset Griffon Vendeen, the larger of the two Basset Griffon Vendeen hounds that we'll see in this group. A dog of noble bearing. That head is important. It should be long, with long ears, carried proudly on a beautiful neck. A rough coat and decent bone on this dog. It's very much the workman.
Yes, this is a 4-year-old dog called Hocus, and it's come here, like many of the entrants at Crufts, from the Netherlands.
Medium size, should be very free moving, despite having relatively heavy bone and being a solid rustic little dog.
And a typical hound tends to go deaf when it wants to.
Well, this is a scent hound. This is a dog that uses its nose to find its prey. The Grand Basset Griffon Vendeen.
And as Jess said when they came into the ring, this is the smaller cousin, the Petit Basset Griffon Vendeen. 90 of these taking part in the show today. This is a little dog called Trevor, comes from Oxfordshire. Luckily, the long name is often abbreviated to PBGV. Still quite a rare dog to see outside the show ring since being introduced from France in 1969, but there are many devotees of the breed.
And in the Petit Basset Griffon Vendeen, we're looking for shorter in every respect than the Grand Basset. So shorter on the leg, shorter in the foreface, shorter little ears, and that wonderful short little active tail. Aficionados will tell you that the Petit Basset Griffon Vendeen is like the Grand with an extra set of batteries, and they're not joking. Instantly recognisable, this, the Basset Hound, reputedly bred by monks in France way back in the Middle Ages to hunt in heavy cover. Those long ears, that long face, again tell you straight away, low to ground, this is a scent hound. Look at the size of those nostrils. This is a dog that uses the scent of its prey, and they can work scent lines where the animal, the prey animal, has moved away, and the dog is simply following the scent that it leaves behind with great enthusiasm and great accuracy.
And this bitch, this 5-year-old, is called Roxy, and beat 137 other Bassets here today. Described by cartoonists the world over as a kindly but worried canine buffoon. Unkind.
Beautifully handled there, though, to see it moving at just the right pace. And look at those ears, called leathers, flopping, but helping the animal as far as its scenting ability is concerned.
There were a lot of Beagles here today, 253 in fact. This is Sam, a 21-month-old dog who's taken best of breed, another dog from the Netherlands. These are dogs which, in spite of being seen often in the show ring, retain their natural hunting instinct, bred to hunt with men on foot, preferably after the hare, still used in packs, very often organised by institutions including colleges and schools. But it's a first-class family pet, and he really makes his mark. A bustling, eager little dog full of enthusiasm and vigour, ever ready for any activity that involves him.
He does retain his ability as a worker, though, which means those who decide to take a Beagle into their family need to be prepared for the fact that he can be completely cloth-eared when he's got a good scent. You might get top of the class in obedience classes, but not out in the park.
And next item to the ring, we see the Bloodhound. Anthony Higginbottom, the Bloodhound specialist, breed judge this year.
Instantly recognisable, the Bloodhound. Possibly descended from hounds once kept at the monastery of Saint-Hubert in Belgium, but bred and developed here in Britain since the 1300s. This is a breed of great history. They've actually been used in breeding programs to rescue other breeds as well. And he was originally used as a hunting hound on a leash, mostly hunting deer and boar. But in these days, this is a dog that is fantastic at hunting human scent.
Indeed he was, because in Scotland he was known as the sleuth hound, as he was used up until about 1600 on both sides of the Scottish border in pursuit of raiders and cattle thieves.
And more recently they're also being used as rescue dogs to search for dogs that have been lost, by tracking the scent provided by their owners from blankets and bedding and things like that. A tremendous scent hound.
Well, this is an aristocrat of a dog with his bearing, his size and his proudly carried head. This is the Borzoi. It's called Ragan, or she is called Ragan rather, because it's a 2-year-old bitch. It's come here to the show from Sweden and taken the best of breed over 123 others. The earliest of this breed seen in Britain were presented by the Tsar of all the Russias to Queen Alexandra, and the breed's popularity soon caught on. Magnificent.
We're looking for a deep-chested dog here, graceful curve to that back line. The coat is silky, flat or wavy, with heavier feathering, and they can come in any colour. They should be effortless on the move. A hugely powerful dog.
Welcome to the newest member of the Hound Group, the Cirneco Dell'Etna.
This is the Cirneco Dell'Etna, deriving its name from where it comes from, as you would expect, hunting on the slopes of Mount Etna. Similar to the Pharaoh Hound, with whom it shares some of its origins, it's got an elegant square outline, sculpted head, and of course those instantly recognisable erect and rigid ears. They give the breed a very distinctive silhouette.
Yes, new to this contest this year, the 27 entries, and this one, 7-year-old dog Remo, he's the one who took best of breed. The owner now lives in Devon. The breed has altered very little over the centuries, natural hunting instincts, but it's an affectionate, friendly dog, adapts well to family life. As you can see, a very fine coat, a skin that needs very little grooming. Now we come to the Dachshunds, and the first of the 6 different varieties is the long-haired Dachshund. This is Charles. He's a 3-year-old dog, 3.5 years old in fact. The origins of the Dachshund can be traced back to working dogs that could go to ground after game, such as badgers and rabbits, or to track fallen, wounded deer. Today, Dachshunds are very popular as intelligent and faithful pets, both for town and country dwellers. And this long-haired beat 85 others today.
And Charles has come from the United States of America to compete. The long-haired Dachshund, that coat is smooth, is smooth to the touch, soft, straight, maybe with a slight wave, and of course well feathered. Plenty of bone in the long-haired Dachshund. Needed to be a strong working dog and just the right shape to go down a badger hole.
Most common colours are black and tan, red, ranging from this clear red to a shaded red. That's a lovely full colour there.
Long and low, but well muscled and nice and balanced. This one keeping its top line absolutely perfectly on the move. And here we have the second of the Dachshund varieties. This is the miniature long-haired. This is Bubbles, 4 years old. Like the long-haired in miniature, you'll get slight differences in type, but the same longer coat, plenty of feathering, but not so much as to obstruct the dog from moving.
149 of them here. The miniatures do tend to be numerically larger here at Crufts than the standard size. Same in colouring, all the colours that I described before, they're available for the miniature long hair as well. They tend to be more reserved, but they should have outgoing temperaments.
And striding out really well with those little legs. Slightly arched skull, high set ears, well rounded, well feathered.
So now we come to the standard, the smooth haired standard Dachshund. This is a 2-year-old bitch called Fristle. Nice name, that. And the smooths have a dense, short coat. It requires very little grooming other than a quick shine with a brush or a cloth once a week. The most common colours here are black and tan and red and chocolate and tan.
The thing about a smooth coat is there's no way you can hide anything. You can see everything on this dog. Long, level-backed, full of muscle. They should have a prominent breastbone at the front there. Short, strong little legs. And the tail on a line with the spine. Curved, but no curl. And here we have the smooth in miniature. The same coat type, but everything smaller. No lacking in quality here. This beautiful head carried proudly on that long neck, flowing into those shoulders. A good breastbone in front. And although this is a miniature, plenty of bone there and substance. Solid little dog.
Judged by an absolute expert in the breed, Mrs. Zena Thorne-Andrews today. This is a 5-year-old bitch called Anna. Exactly as one would expect, the standard, very much the same except for its size, as we described for the standard smooth. These are remarkable little dogs, the Dachshunds. They're delightful to live with. They're short-legged dogs, not long-backed ones. There's quite a distinction there.
And Sue Urgis's Sue Line Kennel is so well known for producing miniature smooth Dachshunds of such quality.
This, of course, is my breed. This is the standard wire-haired Dachshund. This is a bitch called Kitty. It's come from Gloucestershire today. The wires are short, with short, straight, harsh hair, and there is quite a dense undercoat in there as well. There's this nice beard on the chin, the eyebrows are bushy, but the hair on the ears, well, it's almost smooth, which is quite extraordinary. Coat texture can vary, but most wires will need to be hand stripped a couple of times a year at least.
And Fran Mitchell judged these at Crufts today, a true Dachshund specialist, and as we'd expect from her, a beautiful example of the breed. Quality head, long foreface, striding out, fantastic extension, as we call it in the front, where those little front legs are working. Plenty of reach, and a bit of a shake of the head there. And in miniature, the mini wirehead Dachshund. Same coat, hand stripped to perfection, good and harsh to the touch, with a beard and moustache adding character to that face. Although this is a long back dog, it should have plenty of strength in its top line and the loins, so that the top line is held lovely and level and strong.
As a generalisation, the wires are the most extrovert and active of all the varieties, but I'm sure the other owners of the other 5 varieties would argue the toss, but they really do love the great outdoors. Wonderful little dogs, and that is looking just perfect.
Well, you can really see the character as this little dog goes round. Tail carriage perfect, coming straight off the back, but thrashing and wagging. Lots of character. I think Jeff Horswell appreciated that hugely. The little wirehead, miniature wirehead Dachshund.
Next for Judge Jeff to have a look at is the Deerhound, known at one time as the Scottish Deerhound. One of the oldest breeds here in the British Isles.
The best of
Developed in Scotland for
101 other deerhounds here today. This 3-year-old dog, it's called Ralia, comes from Scotland. The Deerhound, known at one time as the Scottish Deerhound, but a combination there of elegance of proportion with a down-to-earth, workmanlike look. They really are to be admired, aren't they?
Gently dignified, this breed. Designed, of course, to be able to run after and work on deer as a sight hound. Deep-chested, never narrow or flat, good bone, that characteristic head and expression. This is a Finnish Spitz. Spit. Bright red dogs of typical Spitz shape. They were unusual in that they were used to hunt small birds originally. They made an enormous amount of noise whilst doing so. National dog of Finland, with a standard that goes all the way back to 1812. The colour of this breed is very characteristic. They are always this marvellous red colour. The coat is short and close on the head and the front legs, elsewhere longish and stands off the dog.
8-year-old dog, this one, called Rene, and it's come here from Finland today. Most appropriate.
The origin of the Foxhound dates back to around the 13th century. The Foxhound began.
Not many of these are seen in the show ring. There are only 9 here in competition today. This is the Foxhound. This one is called Chorister. It's a young bitch, 13 months old. A young dog, I beg your pardon, 13 months old. Traditionally handsome, these Foxhounds, normally in packs. You don't see them very often individually.
And the Foxhound is an absolute powerhouse, a real athlete. We shouldn't see a spare ounce of flesh on this dog. Solid muscle, free striding with great drive. That stern, the tail held erect, usually with a white tip so they can be seen. Deep-chested, broad, level back, long, straight front legs and powering the dog from behind. The racing dog personified. This is the Greyhound. Greyhound-type dogs have been found on the walls of ancient Egyptian tombs dating all the way back to 4000 BC, a dog of great antiquity. Powerful, deep-chested, long-striding, a running machine.
Correct to call this, I think, quite fairly the prototype of the sight hounds or gaze hounds. Came from the Czech Republic to compete here today. 2.5-year-old dog called James.
And the Sobers kennel from which this one hails, very famous in this breed.
This is the Hamiltonstovare. There are only 18 of these showing today. This handsome dog came today, or the breed comes from Sweden, where it's the most popular of the hound breeds there, but this one comes from Lincolnshire. Roland is a 4-year-old dog. He carries the name of Count Hamilton, who created the breed in the 1800s.
Yes, the Swedish Foxhound, the tricolour coat is very characteristic of this breed. They hunt singly, and they make a great deal of noise about the scent that they can follow. Strong-muzzled, full-lipped, high-set ears, they're soft to the touch with a straight fall. The instantly recognisable face of the Ibizan Hound, typical Mediterranean hound. And although the breed takes its name from the island of Ibiza, they probably arrived there by way of early trading ships, such as those of the Phoenicians. A history of over 5,000 years, and another dog built for speed, with the elegance of that long head and those beautiful ears.
He's a 3.5-year-old dog. This one, called Rafa, comes from Llanfillin in Wales. It's a relentless hunter, the Ibizan Hound. He shut his ears to all human entreaty when on the chase. You would expect him to come back to the whistle or the call.
Well, yes, it might have big ears, but it doesn't need to use them. Certainly when it's spotted something, it's off.
This one stands nearly a yard high at the shoulder. There were 162 Irish Wolfhounds here today. This is Nucky, who is a 4.5-year-old dog. Comes from Cheshire. The Wolfhound is not only the tallest of all the hounds, but the biggest breed of them all. In addition, he's well built in all departments. Any tightness, any tendency to lightness of head, limbs or body is frowned on by his devotees. Very popular breed, as you can hear.
And this is 4.5-year-old Nucky, owned by Chris and Julie Amu. And a breed that actually almost died out once the last wolf disappeared from Ireland before the 1800s. They've been restored by dedicated breeders, and now this is a breed that we always see in quality in the Hound Group here at Crufts.
This is a male, number 21005, sent forward to represent the breed.
This is the Norwegian Elkhound. That shaded grey coat is very characteristic of this breed, with harness markings and a typical Spitz type. We don't want the dog to be too long. It's deep-chested and powerful, strong-boned, with that wedge of a head, prick ears and a Spitz tail carried over the back.
Very solid dog for a hound, but needs to be able to cope with his traditional prey, which was, of course, the elk. This is called Odin. He's a 9-year-old dog. And here is the Otter Hound. This is almost 3 years old. It's a bitch called Maeve. From every viewpoint, the Otter Hound is a large dog and has a truly rugged appearance, you can see. These dogs are built to gallop on land, but his main function has always been to spend his working time in the water. It's generally felt that his ancestry includes a French influence combined with original English hound strains. Wonderful weather-resistant coat, which he used to need to do his work.
And this is a very sound Otter Hound, striding out really well, keeping the back line, the top line beautifully, plenty of reach in front and powering from behind.
A dog for the energetic, definitely.
Moving on, the next Hound Group of best of breed to be seen by Jeff Borzoi is the Pharaoh Hound. As his name implies,
This is the Pharaoh Hound. Became a native of Malta after it was colonized by the Phoenicians around about 1000 BC. Came to Britain in the 1970s and has built from strength to strength. A super, very, very lovely dog to live with. Striking feature of the Pharaoh Hound is the shining glossy coat in that rich tan, almost verging on red. And they're such elegant dogs, that lovely reach of neck, beautiful head, and those characteristic prick ears.
And this is a 4.5-year-old bitch called Bella. It's come here all the way from Moscow to take part. Those lovely eyes, amber in colour, keen gaze. And now we come to the Portuguese Podengo. This is a 19-month-old dog called Solo. It's a national breed of Portugal. Podengos come in 3 sizes, but we only recognise the small one here in this country. It's thought that the breed is a descendant, would you believe, of the Pharaoh Hound. You don't really see much similarity between them now, do you? But it's possible that Phoenician traders introduced the Podengo to Portugal when they established themselves there as great rabbit hunters.
And this little 19-month-old Solo has decided that the Crufts group ring is absolutely nothing to be intimidated by. I'm not necessarily going to do what my owner wants me to do. Known also as the Warren Hound. That tells you that this little dog was designed to deal with rabbits, and it's the right size to do that and exactly the right temperament.
I do think Jeff Horswell is enjoying this, you know, he's having a good time.
Yeah, but not quite as much as Solo. The Rhodesian Ridgeback. This is a massive hunter, a hound that was designed to help big game hunters, even in dealing with creatures like lions. So we need a dog with a valiant temperament, bold and brave, characterized by the ridge of hair that has a reverse direction. You can just see it down the dog's back there.
Yes, this bitch is called Bree, 2.5 years old. There were a lot of them here at Crufts today, 201 in fact. Known and used in Africa as a guard dog, but still an excellent family dog, good with children and affectionate. The Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Lithe, energetic and agile on the move.
This graceful, dignified Saluki beat 104 others to get the best of breed today. 7 years old is the dog. It's called Aha, or also Petit. Comes from Belgium, in Antwerp, in fact. Much prized possession of the Arabs, this breed, where sheiks have carefully kept records of his breeding and hunting abilities for literally hundreds of years. Although it is an old breed, it wasn't seen in Britain until 1840.
A hound that was designed to hunt gazelle needs to be swift and accurate, deep-chested, good reach and drive in those legs, beautiful top line there, and such a graceful outline to the dog. Those long feathered ears framing a long face, keeping those eyes just where they need to be, gazing onto the horizon. This is a Slugie, a breed that emanates from the deserts and mountains of North Africa, where it was prized as a hunting dog. They can be a little standoffish and aloof, as many hounds can, and the leanness is to be expected in this breed. Again, not an ounce of flesh. We need to be able to run, and being kept in a hot climate means you don't want to be carrying pounds of fat that you've got to shift at the same time.
Yes, Ziva here is 22 months old. It's a bitch. Tough, fine coat on there. Most frequently this colour, sable or fawn. But he can be seen brindle, white, or even black with tan points. The Slugie. Well, this is the unmistakable sight of the Whippet. 2-year-old bitch, this one, Hazel. There can be few breeds that delight as much as the dainty Whippet. Size tends to vary in different countries, although the standard requires an animal standing around the 20-inch mark, 51 centimetres high. Short, fine coat, a balance of muscularity and neatness. There's the Whippet. A massive number here today, 397 Whippets were here.
And of course, being Hound Day, that's why we had a lovely round of applause.
So, who will Jeff Horswell pick for his shortlist?
Jeff Horswell moving down the line to remind himself of his best of breed winners. This is a big group. Quality sight and scent hounds. The Greyhound and the Hamiltonstovare there.
Together with the Terrier Group, there have been 5,345 dogs judged here at Crufts.
This is just a massive show, a wonderful group. In total, we've had almost 22,000 dogs judged here, and this will be the last of the group winners when it's selected to go through to tonight's best in show. So what is Jeff Horswell going to pick?
He's moving all the way down
He's
the front
picked
of the
Beagle. And he's picked the long-haired Dachshund. And the Mini Smooth. And the Wire, standard Wire. And the Finnish Spitz coming out there. The Pharaoh Hound. And the Rhodesian Ridgeback and the Whippet. A wonderful selection of 8. Yes, Jeff knew exactly. It was very purposeful the way he went out there and drew the dogs out. So the Beagle going first. 21-month-old Sam comes from Netherlands with owner Ellie Vervoort. She claims it's an outgoing, happy dog.
And here we have the long-haired Dachshund, of course, long-backed, deep-chested, designed to go to ground and covered with a lovely flat, long coat, plenty of feathering. The little Mini Smooth from the Sioux Line Kennel.
That's right. And the standard wire-haired Dachshund, Kitty, from the famous Sylvain Kennel, this little bitch from Gloucestershire.
The Finnish Spitz, this one's come from Finland today. A dog that hunts with a voice and his nose.
And the Pharaoh Hound there coming round. This quite striking, lovely to look at.
The Rhodesian Ridgeback, the big game hunter's helpmate. Not afraid to tackle a lion along with his hunter. And that ridge of hair down the back.
Massive cheer there for the last of the selection, the Whippet. 2-year-old Hazel.
Favoured for racing in the northeast.
And the northwest, I have to add.
And racing its way to the end of the line there as well. So here's Jeff Horswell's final cut in the Hound Group, the last of our groups for 2016. The boards are out. Who's going to be our final group winner?
I think Jeff has a very clear view of what it's going to be too. I don't think he's prevaricating at all with this. Now, where's he going to go?
It's
He's gone for the Whippet. Hazel, owned by Lee Morris, George Waddle, Charlie Donaldson. And the wire-haired Dachshund gets Group 2. And the Rhodesian Ridgeback gets Group 3. And Group 4 is the long-haired, the standard long-haired Dachshunds. Great day for Dachshunds. 2 of them in the top 4. But no question about the winner, the Whippet.
President of the FCI, escorted into the ring by Vendeen to present the award to the winner of tonight's Hound Group, the Whippet.
And the award being presented by Mr. Rafael de Santiago, President of the FCI. Well, what a moment for the 3 co-owners of this lovely Whippet.
That must be an amazing feeling.
I can't believe it.
That's wonderful. A feeling you wish you could bottle up and keep forever.
Definitely, I can't. Oh, you're just amazing. 1 in a million.
You haven't got much time to relax. A little while, but not much preparation, just chill.
Yeah, definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Hound Group winner will take a lap of honour, the Whippet.
And so a lap of honour for the 4 group positions here in the Hound Group, led by that wonderful Whippet. What a splendid sight, moving beautifully. We've had a long day here and a lot of dogs to beat. 397 Whippets, and that was the best one picked here today. Fantastic, and it comes out and wins the group. Oh, look at the way, that is just so happy and natural, lovely to see. And groups 2, 3 and 4 following on.